You are looking live from the Morrow Fieldhouse in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, on the campus of Slippery Rock University. Hello and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Anthony D'Agostino, and alongside me today is Danny Beck. And Danny, had to say you were looking live. Brent Musburger, his last game yesterday with Kentucky versus Georgia, and just a great man and a great sports broadcaster.
Most definitely, and a great way to go out as well, as he called an overtime game. Definitely an awesome way to go out for Brent Musburger.
Well, the game here in Slippery Rock, it pits the California Vulcans and the Slippery Rock here at Slippery Rock. In the last game for both these teams, Danny, start off with the California Vulcans.
California took on Edinboro in their last contest. California actually came away with the victory 58-52 in a very contested game. California coming away with the victory. And then on the other side for Slippery Rock took on Seton Hill. Slippery Rock coming away with the victory 67-32. So both of these teams like to grind it out. California started out fast against Edinboro, and for Slippery Rock, we're going to see if they can continue to just grind out on defense and really slow down California's pace.
The old-time series, California holds an 81-75 lead over the Slippery Rock, and it dates all the way back to the 1921-22 season. However, Slippery Rock has dominated the series as of late with 12 wins over the Vulcans in the last 13 games. And however, the Vulcans won in the last meeting 74-66 though at California.
They definitely did, and this time it's going to be in enemy territory. We're going to see if head coach Kent McBride can get his team on a 4-game win streak. For both of these teams, that's very important, and head coach Kent McBride, this is a shot for him to prove himself, really.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to pause for the national anthem. And welcome back after that rendition of the national anthem. Danny, before we real quick go into the standings, the last time California won in Slippery Rock was in February of 2010.
Wow, it's definitely, as I said, this is the chance for Kent McBride to really prove himself. And you see on your screen there the PSAC standings. Slippery Rock sitting at 4th in the PSAC West, and California just a few spots below them at number 7 at 8-13 on the season, and Slippery Rock at 11-10. So Slippery Rock coming into this contest with a little bit more momentum going on further, but we're going to see if California can really halt that and rewrite history, really, and get a victory here in Slippery Rock.
Yeah, California tied with Seton Hill, and we have some starters for you here today. Robel Teckel, Rashawn Brown, Tony Richardson, Daniel Sapp, Luka Andjusic will be starting for the California Vulcans under head coach Kent McBride. And for Slippery Rock, this is number 15, Kyrie Wooten, redshirt junior from Philadelphia, PA. A 6'3" guard, redshirt junior, Murdoch Green. Number 22, Crystal Malalu, a 6'8" forward. And then number 23, Vinny Lasley, a 6'6" forward junior from Tama, Iowa. A lot of these players, Danny, transfers. Slippery Rock is full of transfers, and a lot of them, they're from Marshalltown Community College.
Yeah, a lot of transfers, as you said, and also for California, a lot of transfers, as I believe the last game California played, and this is correct for this game as well, nobody from the state of Pennsylvania will be starting for California. Just an interesting stat, as It looks like Bill Brown recruited a little bit more out of the state, really, and Kent McBride doing the same, as he was brought in as the head coach kind of later, so he didn't really have an opportunity to get his recruiting class in. But he has the players he's confident with out on the floor. Tony Richardson, Daniel Sapp, Luka Andjusic, all those were from the Bill Brown era. And then for the Kent McBride era, we have Rashawn Brown and Robo Tekel, two players for California that can score. Both of them are scoring threats, getting the ball to the basket, something that California does very well.
Robo Tekel averaging 8.6 points per game. Rashawn Brown 6.5. However, Tony Richardson, he is the star, in my opinion, this season. He's averaging 9.1 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, and it's only getting higher as the season progresses, Danny.
Yeah, and like I said, that Robo Tekel was on a tear. Tony Richardson is just as equally on as much of a tear, and if he gets started fast, he helps California. The
two 22s will tip it, and Tony Richardson wins it to Rashawn Brown. Now Tekel, as Richardson going to Andjusic. Bounces it inside to Richardson. Richardson, tough shot, no good, and is rebounded there by Vinny Lasley. And when he doesn't have any help underneath the hoop, it's all him. He really is got to have the grunt of that weight. So we're going to see if hopefully everybody can just crash the boards and get the ball back for California. Murdock Green passes it, and now it's Tony Gates out there now. He was not a starter, however, he came in. And it'll be California ball as it went out of bounds on Gates. Tekel will inbound it for the Vulcans. And California and Rashawn Brown, if they can get started, as I said, as much as Tony Richardson could get started, just getting some points on the board early could help them out down the stretch. Luka Andjusic to Daniel Sapp as Richardson goes to Rashawn Brown. Brown weaving, going to Sapp. Now Tekel handing it off to Brown. Brown able to get it off to Tekel, and Tekel puts up a tough shot, and that one just rims out and is rebounded there by Kyrie Wooten. Taking a majority of that shot clock down, it seems like Slippery Rock is just slowing down this tempo, something that California is really trying to push. Over now to Vinny Lasley, inside to Tony Gates. Gates cross court to Wooten. As Lasley goes to Gates near side. Under 10 seconds to go with 6 on the shot clock. Inside to Lasley. Now Green, his shot rims out and is tipped around and is rebounded there by Tony Gates. Slippery Rock still controlling the ball here. As Kyrie Wooten passing it off to Murdock Green. Inside to Malalu. His shot good. Yeah, good job by Malalu, but just pushing Richardson out of the way, getting to the hoop as good as he could, and on that one, getting some points on the board. And Andjusic to Tony Richardson. Brown inside to Tekel. As Tekel goes to Sapp, back to Brown from way downtown. That one is off the mark, and it's rebounded by Tony Richardson. And Andjusic bounces it inside to Tekel. He goes inside to Tony Richardson as Richardson works on inside. That shot is good, and one for Tony Richardson. And he answers right back to Malalu's offensive production on the other side with a shot of his own. Now going to the line, just trying to increase his 42% free throw shooting this season. You definitely want to get that number up. And he was in the upper 30s before with his free throw percentage, so he has been working at getting that free throw percentage up, and he doesn't get that one there, just rims out. 17:35 to go here in the first half. Tie ball game 2-2. As Tony Gates passes it inside. That one's going to go out of bounds. It looks like off the hands of number 11, Amir Madrid. He thought he was pushed. And for California, it seems like, as I said before, they're really pushing this tempo, just trying to get this ball moved around. Slippery Rock trying to answer back with slowing that tempo down, definitely. Robo Tekel over to Daniel Sapp. As Andjusic goes to Richardson. Sapp, shot is no good and is rebounded there by Vinny Lasley. And Tony Gates actually came down with that one, and that was a good display of rebounding. As he came down, looked like he was almost in the presence of really dropping the ball, and he came down with it for Slippery Rock. Three-point shot is up, and it is no good by Tony Gates, and is rebounded there by Tony Richardson. And Jusek gets his shot, no good, and is rebounded there by Amir Madrid. That was a tough shot there by Andjusic. As Gates throws it over to Wooten. A three-point shot is up, and it is no good. A rebounded by Robel tackle. That was Murdoch Green with the shot. Brown slips a little there, is able to get the ball off, and goes to Andjusic now. Sapp inside to Richardson. Richardson puts up a tough shot and is rebounded by himself, and loses the ball, though, to Kyrie Wooten.
Quite a few rebounds for California as well on the defensive side, along with the offensive side. If they can continue to get this rebounding performance up, maybe they can get some more points on the board. That's something they have to do.
Gates' inside pass is intercepted, tipped around, and goes to Andjusic as Daniel Sapp moves along. Sapp to Rashawn Brown. Brown, free throw line jumper. That one is good for Rashawn Brown, and that was a nice arcing shot, Danny.
Yeah, rainbow, if you will. Rainbow shot, kind of a lollipop shot right over the defense and right into the basket.
California up 4-2. Bouncing it inside now, Kyrie Wooten, as he goes over to Murdoch Green. Green to Lasley. His shot is good for three.
And spots up against Daniel Sapp, also a three-point threat right in his face. We'll see if California can get back on the board.
Lasley, a 19.4% three-point shooter, so not very good, but he makes that one, giving Slippery Rock the 1-point lead, 5-4. Brown fakes his three, driving. Floater, that one is good for Rashawn Brown to make it 6-5.
And great use of the floater, as you said, Anthony, as he just got it right over the defense and used that to his advantage getting to the basket.
Kyrie Wooten for Slippery Rock. Over now to Tony Gates. Gates, ball fake, drives, shot is no good, but he will be fouled. And we'll see who this one is on. It is on Tony Richardson. His first, team's first. We have our media timeout. And Danny, here, look at the tail of the tape.
As we look at the tail of the tape, we can see that California putting up some points on the board. As I said, their last contest, maybe not so much, but Slippery Rock on the other side putting up a total of 64.3 points, allowing 61 a game. So their games are pretty close, as well as California on the other side allowing 75. And also the rebounds, 38 per game. And on the other side for Slippery Rock, just under 40 a game. So both of these teams have the height, and they use that to their advantage, really just getting the ball back for their offense, allowing everything to set up in front of them and get to the basket.
Yeah, like we said, California, they're averaging 15 turnovers a game. Slippery Rock, 15.2 turnovers a game. So, I mean, these teams are very evenly matched, if you will, in the turnover portion. Even steals, California 5.4, Slippery Rock 4.3.
Yeah, we see that as California just getting those steals off those turnovers from the opposing team, really just pressuring their defense. It's not so much prevalent so far in this game, as we're already just under 5 minutes left, or 5 minutes into this game, but you can see a lot of the teams that they play just trying to move the ball around. California getting involved in the defensive department and just getting their hand on the ball, really forcing the turnovers.
And so far this first half, with 14:15 remaining, California shooting 33.3%, and Slippery Rock shooting the same, 33.3%. 3 of 9 for Cal, 2 of 6 for Slippery Rock, as that one is no good by Tony Gates. So far, Slippery Rock with 2 turnovers, California with 0. California with 4 rebounds, Slippery Rock with 7. His second is no good and is tipped around, rebounded there, and out of bounds off of California, Danny.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of miscommunication, not understanding the play there by Daniel Sapp as he took his hands away from the ball, thinking that it was off of a Slippery Rock player, but in fact it was off of a California defender.
Kyrie Wooten for the Rock. As Wooten passing it over to Green. Back to Wooten. Now over to Lasley. Wooten, his shot up and good.
And Wooten from Imhotep, school that made it to the state finals in high school football as well. He's the star out on the floor for Slippery Rock.
Cordell Smith sporting a shaved head look today, going bald.
I mean, you got to. That shaved head, it looks good on Cordell.
His pass intercepted and a foul called here. It's on Cordell Smith.
As we were talking about, I pretty much jinxed him there, Anthony, but we're going to see if California can lock down on defense, get the ball right back.
Kyrie Wooten passing it off the Gates, back to Wooten. Over now to Gates inside. A long pass to Wooten is corralled and starts driving and passes it outside. Three-point shot is no good, and off the top of the backboard there. California ball.
Yeah, it looks like that's, I believe, the second time here tonight that Rashawn Brown has slipped quite significantly on that one. Looked like he almost fell even. Maybe the floor has some conditions that don't really promote sticky feet, if you will.
Robo tackle to Tucker, back now to Cordell Smith. Smith driving inside. Jay Tucker, his shot no good, blocked there, and it's picked up by the Rock. Kyrie Wooten over the line. Wooten waiting. And he goes over to Lasley. Now Murdoch Green. 10 on the shot clock goes back to Lasley over to Wooten. 2-ball. No good, and is tipped and is rebounded there by Rashawn Brown. A 3-on-1. Brown shot. No is good, and it looked like it was going to go over the rim, and it goes back.
And that finger roll puts some spin on it, allows that ball to bounce right off the rim and into the hoop. So good idea there by Rashawn Brown, kind of trying to fake out the defender. As you said, Anthony, a 3-on-1 situation. You got to love that if you're an offensive player for California.
Wooten now inside. Madrid shot is good.
It looked like Amir Madrid was trying to really just take the body, maybe even draw the foul, but got the basket to fall, so no call on the floor.
Sapp to Tucker, almost lost it and gave it to get it back. Cordell goes over to Rashawn Brown. Brown to Tucker, now to Cordell. Smith goes to Rashawn Brown. Brown moving. Goes to Tucker. Tucker, layup, good. As it rolls around the rim a few times.
I was going to say, kind of drew out that word good just because of the fact that the ball just kept spinning around. Looked like he was just going around the world on that one after it falls into the hoop.
Murdoch Green passing it to Kyrie Wooten. Back to Green, back to Wooten as they set up their offense with 11 minutes to go. Gates to Green. Over to Wooten. Now Green, 2 seconds on the shot clock. Lasley, his shot is good with 1 on the shot clock.
As I said, using all of the shot clock to their advantage is Slippery Rock, moving the ball around all over the floor, just trying to get those easy looks.
Tucker to Brown, thought about a 3 and instead drives and puts up a 2, and that one is off the rim and is rebounded there by Vinny Lasley.
Maybe thought about it too much, as you always say when you're on the court on the outside, maybe just playing around with your friends. Don't think about it too long because then you're going to miss it.
Wooten over to Lasley. Now Tony Gates. Lasley, 3-ball is off the rim and is rebounded there. And we will have our second media timeout here. California down by 1, 11-10 with 10:08 to go here in the first half. You're watching Vulcans men's basketball live on CUTV Sports 1. And welcome back to the Morrow Fieldhouse here. As California going to inbound it here with Jay Tucker.
I'm feeling that name. The Morrow sounds like tomorrow. Tomorrow's Fieldhouse.
But what about today's Fieldhouse?
Well, it can be today too, if whatever makes you more comfortable, Anthony.
And Jusik with it now for the Vulcans. And that one is going to go out of bounds off Jusik. A little miscommunication between Tucker and Cordell Smith. Gives the ball back to the Rock. Kyrie Wooten taking it over the half-court line. Wooten passing it to Naquil Jones. As it goes over to Green. Jones. Passing it over. As Lasley with it, bounces it inside to Madrid. Lasley, 3-ball. No good off the rim, and is rebounded there. And it goes out of bounds off of Lasley, and he dives to try to hit that ball.
Yeah, putting his body out on the line. You love to see that if you're a coach for Slippery Rock. Not so much the training staff, though. You don't really want to get hurt on a ball like that.
As Cordell Smith will take it over. Close game, 11-10 still here. As it's getting slow now in terms of the offense. Not very fast-paced, both these teams. Like to eat out that shot clock. As Cordell Smith getting a screen from Tony Richardson. His shot is up, and it is good for Cordell Smith.
And Cordell Smith following Rashawn Brown with that floater. It's the second floater we saw here, resulting in California putting some points on the board as well.
Green goes to Kyrie Wooten over the line. As Green passes it off to Lasley. Inside pass and loses the ball, but is picked up there by Madrid, and his shot is good and one.
Something also to mention, there's quite a crowd out here tonight for a Wednesday night contest. It seems like there's a lot more people here for the men's game than there are for the women's game, something that we don't really see much because of how good California's women's team is.
It was supposed to be a whiteout today. I'm not so sure many people got the memo.
Well, on the opposing side, if you see the camera go up a little bit, you might be able to see quite a few people with the whiteout shirts. I know I picked up a whiteout shirt along with Matt Hagee. I had to. It's supporting the other school, another PSAC school. It still said Cal on it, so I'm not that much of a traitor.
Madrid with one shot makes that one. Next week's game at Slippery Rock against Mercyhurst is a blackout, and looks like people are already starting to get ready for that one. They're all wearing black.
Most definitely are.
Cordell Smith goes to Miller. Miller for three. That one is no good, and is tipped by Tony Richardson. Cordell Smith, his shot is good. What a job there by Tony Richardson getting that to Cordell Smith.
And just getting your hand on it, just trying to knock it away from quite a few Slippery Rock defenders, really just trying to get a rebound, tipping it out right into Cordell Smith's hands.
As the Rock with it now. And it's Jones. Going over to Green, back to Jones. Jones driving. Shot is good as it rolls around the rim.
We get to the hoop for Slippery Rock, get some points, answer right back as Slippery Rock is now up by 2.
16-14 with 7:32 to go. Cordell Smith to Richardson. Richardson, spin move there, puts up a tough shot, gets his own rebound, puts up another shot, and gets that one to fall in.
Yeah, 2 opportunities for him to put up a shot, executes on the second one. Looks like the first one, he tried to just do a little bit of a Michael Jordan move, going underneath the arms of the defender, putting a shot up with one hand.
Murdoch Green with it, passing it to Wooten. Handing it off to Green, back it now to Naquil Jones. Inside, now back out to Green, 4-3. Green's shot is good, nothing but net.
And Green taking his time from the top of the key right there, kind of flicked the ball with his wrist and making that net move.
19-16 now, Nick Miller with it to Tony Richardson. As Jusik to Roboteco, now Cordell Smith. Smith, 3-ball, is good, and it was a contested shot as he went up against Kyrie Wooten.
As I said, right in the face of Kyrie Wooten as well.
As Wooten with it now. As Murdoch Green for three. That one is no good, and it's out of bounds off of Richardson. As we have our another media timeout, 6-10, 19-19 to score now. And Danny, it's a very close game and a very slow game as well, as we're going to take a look now at the team leaders.
Yeah, and the team leaders for California, we see right there, Luka Andjusic being a solid contributor in the scoring department, and Tony Richardson in the rebound department as well, and Rashawn Brown and Cordell Smith both combining with 57 assists. That's an outstanding number this season. Definitely get the ball around to the other people on the floor, and Cordell Smith as well with steals. That fast guy for California definitely pays off in the offensive department as well. And now we're going to look over at the Slippery Rock team leaders, and it looks like it is going to be Naquil Jones. He's the guy that scores a lot of the points there for Slippery Rock, as well as being a force in the assists and the steals department. So Naquil Jones kind of came in, didn't start the game, but is still leading. He has 13.9 points per game, as well as just under 5 rebounds per game. So coming off the bench, that sixth man that Slippery Rock has on their team, helping them in the offensive and defensive department equally.
Like I said, Danny, 19-19, almost with 6:10 to go here in the first half. Just a very slow-paced game.
Yeah, it definitely is very slow-paced, and California seeing if they can answer right back, as both teams are shooting just about 47% from the field. California shooting 2 for 9, actually, excuse me, 1 for 3 from the three-point arc.
That shot is blocked there and is picked up by California's Cordell Smith driving. Bounces it to Andjusic, to Cordell Smith. Faked his three and takes that three, and that one is up, and it is no good. Rebounded by Daniel Sapp and out of bounds off of Murdoch Green. Checking in now is number 11, Amir Madrid, and also Rashawn Brown for California for Luka Andjusic.
And good play there by Daniel Sapp, just moving to the ball, just trying to keep it alive for California. And on that one, bounce right off of the Slippery Rock defender, giving California the possession arrow still.
Rashawn Brown inside of Richardson. Richardson loses control of the ball, gets his shot blocked by Amir Madrid. Both them, Tony Richardson 6'8", Madrid 6'7", so Tony Richardson has a height advantage, but that shot was just blocked there. As Guilherme is out there for Slippery Rock. That pass is intercepted, and Rashawn Brown will get fouled by Guilherme Verardo. And now Vinny Lasley will check in as well.
And just as fast as Guilherme Verardo checked in, he also checks out.
Get that first foul, and he checks out. Rashawn Brown goes to Cordell Smith. Over to Tucker. Tucker to Tekel. And that's going to be out of bounds, and it was looked like it might have been tipped on Slippery Rock, but just out of the reach there is George Chase, a redshirt senior from Martinsburg, West Virginia, checking in.
And Jay Tucker kind of motioned to the referee that maybe a Slippery Rock defender tipped it, but they're going to give the ball right back to Slippery Rock.
Kyrie Wooten passing it. Goes to Murdoch Green, back to Wooten. Now Jones, outside, shot is no good, and it's rebounded there by Lasley as he goes to Kyrie Wooten. Wooten setting up the offense. Over to Murdoch Green. Now Jones, back to Murdoch Green. Inside to Lasley. Over to Green. His shot is good off the backboard.
And everything is pretty much slowing down on the offensive side. It seems like nobody can really get some momentum. One team scores and then the other team answers, and then it's just a long, drawn-out process until the next one scores.
Tucker for two. That one's off the rim and is going to be out of bounds. Off of Vinny Lasley, and that one looked like it might have been off of Robel Tekel.
Yeah, maybe Lasley kind of tipped it out of his hands. Crowd not liking that, obviously, a away venue.
Tony Richardson checks in as well as Tony Gates. Cordell Smith will inbound it for the Vulcans. He mounds it to Richardson. Richardson, as it goes to now to Daniel Sapp. Sapp moving, driving, and gets his shot tipped away there, and it's going to be dove on by Rashawn Brown, and a foul here there, and it should be on number 12, Naquil Jones. A little heated argument afterwards there as Jones kind of dove on top of Rashawn Brown there, Danny.
Yeah, it seemed like both teams were kind of just jostling for possession. Slippery Rock not liking the outcome of it, as California will keep possession.
Possession arrow stays the same. It wasn't out a jump ball, and he goes to Roboteco. Daniel Sapp now, bouncing inside to Tony Richardson. Richardson loses control of the ball, and it goes now to Jones. Jones bounce pass. His shot is good, and that was Kyrie Wooten for 2.
Tony Richardson hauling down the court. Looked like he was going to try to block that ball, but great move by the Slippery Rock offensive player to just kiss that one off the glass.
Cal down by 4, 23-19. Cordell Smith. Long 3-ball is up and off the front of the rim. Didn't put enough on it and is rebounded by Murdoch Green as he hands it off to Kyrie Wooten.
And in the last game when California took on Edinboro, Cordell Smith went on a streak of attempting 4 straight threes, not making any of them. So Cordell Smith just trying to get started here tonight as well.
Wooten going to Gates, back to Wooten. Over to Naquil Jones. His 3-ball is good, and it was from way downtown.
Most definitely he's that scorer that I was talking about with those team leaders.
Out of bounds off of Cal. An immediate timeout here. California down 26-19 with 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Stick around. We'll have the rest of the first half on CU TV Sports 1.
This season, the pride and pageantry of college football.
Is that a catch? Oh, yeah!
Can all be found in one place.
He will score! Touchdown!
NCAA.com. From the biggest matchups come breakout performances.
Keeping one deep.
And those game-changing moments live here. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com. From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
And welcome back to the Morrow Fieldhouse here in Slippery Rock. As Danny, I like those Slippery Rock stools they have out there.
I wish the Cal had one of those. That would be pretty interesting to see them brought out on the court every time. Maybe some of our players would get a little bit more of a break. As it's something interesting we don't see. We see that more in the NBA than we do in college basketball, at least in the PSAC.
D1 too. A lot of D1 schools will have chairs out there for their players to sit down, and
exactly.
It's almost like they're boxers. You got to get their shoulders massaged and whatnot. As Wooten passes it inside to George Chase. His shot off the backboard there. Rebounded there by Andrzejczyk. Now California coming up with Rashawn Brown. Brown inside to Tekel. Tekel at the post, goes inside and goes to Richardson. Richardson. No shot there, and it goes off of foul on the number 30. George Chase, his first. Team's fourth. As they will wipe up the court there.
Tony Richardson definitely working hard in the paint here tonight, just trying to establish his position. Unfortunately, it hasn't really worked out into his favor much.
Only with 4 points so far. Still wiping up that court.
You saw Rashawn Brown fell a few times, and he wasn't even in the area of any spot where there might have been a little bit of a damp court, and they're just taking their time making sure no players get hurt. You never want to see that, especially.
Water on a waxy floor is not a good thing, and then just slip all over the place. As Cordell Smith goes to Rashawn Brown. As Andrusik passing off to Brown. Brown driving, jumper is no good and was not fouled at all, and Tony Gates picks it up. California on a little bit of a drought here of scoring. Kyrie Wooten passing it off. As Wooten with 10 on a shot clock. Goes to Tony Gates. Back to Wooten. Now 5. Wooten to Jones. Back to Wooten. 1 on the shot clock. Gets it off. At the buzzer is no good off the rim and is picked up by California as they go ahead. Andrusik, 3 ball. It's off the front of the rim and it is rebounded there by Kyrie Wooten. Up ahead comes the Slippery Rock Rock. That shot is no good. Rebounded by Tony Richardson. Up ahead, Rashawn Brown moves. Shot blocked there by number 30, George Chase. That layup is good for Nyquil Jones.
Nyquil Jones in transition, just trying to get to the hoop, get those easy points after a big block that got the crowd involved as well.
Tony Richardson over to Robel Teckel. Now Rashawn Brown. As Brown goes to Richardson, back to Brown. 4-3. Brown misses that one and is rebounded and out of bounds off of California.
Looked like after Lasley came down with the rebound, Robel Teckel just kind of poked it right out, but it falls right out of bounds.
California had their last field goal with 6:35 to go in the first quarter.
You don't want that.
No.
You definitely do not want that to happen.
And Slippery Rock, they're with a 9-point lead, 45 seconds left to go in the first half. Slippery Rock will get the ball back, barring a jump ball here to start the second half. As Kyrie Wooten passing it off. That ball is stolen away and Cordell Smith can sprint, and his shot is good. Finally, California scores here. A timeout called here with 20.2 seconds left. And Danny, California finally breaks the drought.
Yeah, and California really just called that timeout. Maybe see if they can draw something up to get some more points up on the board before halftime. Because you never want to go into halftime on a slump. And that's a good thing that California really broke that drought, as you were saying. Just put some more points up on the board. They have to get back into this contest. It looks like so far that Slippery Rock has really been the stronger team. Out-rebounding California with 3 minutes remaining. They were out-rebounding California by only 3 rebounds, but most of the rebounds for Slippery Rock are coming in the defensive side. So that's allowing their offense to really get started, and California only totaling 5 rebounds on the offensive side. So they're getting some rebounds, but they're not executing on the boards.
Murda Green goes to Wooten now inside. Nyquil Jones gets fouled. No shot. It's on Robel Teckel. Should be his first.
First personal foul, team foul number 4.
As Jones will inbound it after Jay Tucker will check in. 12 seconds to go in the first half. Jones inbounding it. Goes all the way out to Wooten. Now Jones gets fouled.
Foul number 33.
And that's on Andrusik.
First personal foul, team foul number
Checking in is Nick Miller now
Nick Miller checks in.
for Luca.
It's kind of odd, a lot of substitutions late in this first half.
Kyrie Wooten passing it off. And a foul called here with 3.2 seconds left. Rashawn Brown getting fouled, and another substitution. Tony Richardson and Andrusik checking in.
And just as odd as the substitutions are coming in, there's a lot of fouls at the end of this first half too. I kind of think if you're head coach Kent McBride, just let them do whatever. Let them score right before halftime. We can talk about what we need to do differently.
3.2 seconds left to go. Jones will inbound it. Gets it off to Jones. His shot is no good at the buzzer. And that'll be the end of the first half. California down 28-21. And Danny, what are you talking about if you're in California's locker room?
Really just try to execute on the offensive side. If you're head coach Kent McBride, you really have to push this pace. Slippery Rock clearly trying to slow it down. And if they can push this pace a little bit more, kind of wear down Slippery Rock's offensive players, you might see a little bit different ball game in the second half.
Well, California down 28-21. They're going to need to make a little bit of a comeback and some adjustments in order to come back and break the losing streak here at Slippery Rock. We'll be back after halftime here live on CUTV Sports 1. And welcome back to the Morrow Fieldhouse on the campus of Slippery Rock University, where the California Vulcans trail the Rock 28-21. Once again, Anthony D'Agostino alongside me, Danny Beck. Danny, break down some of these halftime stats.
Well, just looking at the field goal percentage, obviously 12 of 27 for Slippery Rock, shooting just about 44%. And then the opposite side for California, 10 of 29, shooting just about 35%, 34.5. So California, if they want to get back into this contest, they got to force some turnovers, get those steals, and also just crash the boards, really get those rebounds, on the offensive and defensive side, allowing their offense to really get started. Doesn't seem like anybody has really established any momentum in this contest thus far. And Slippery Rock getting the crowd involved, obviously their home environment, a big night, whiteout night, trying to answer back to California, and so far they're doing just that. California really having no answers.
California 1 of 7 from the three-point line, Slippery Rock 3 of 12. And I mean, Tony Richardson has been held pretty tight today with 4 points. He's got 4 from the field, and he's just been pretty much bottlenecked in the paint here underneath the basket. Hasn't had much space, and they've double-teamed him inside the basket, and he really hasn't been able to put up a good shot in order to get this California team under his wing.
Yeah, definitely, and no help as well. As you said, he was being double-teamed, and there's nobody else underneath the rim to help him out, get those rebounds. It's pretty much just him all by himself. And, if you want your team to win, you need to come around and help your team out. And so far, California just really isn't playing as a team. They're really being kind of selfish when they're taking shots even. They really have to just move that ball around, get that ball movement started, and hopefully it can pay out in dividends with points on the board.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be Slippery Rock ball to start off. Tony Gates will check in, and it's inbound for the Rock. Also a very slow basketball game here, it feels like. Both teams really were using that shot clock and milking it all the way down.
Most definitely, to say the least, honestly.
Tony Gates over to Lasley. Back to Gates. California in a 2-3 zone almost here. And that goes to Gates, and Gates drives, puts up a shot and is fouled, and one for Tony Gates.
And Gates heads up play there, drawing the the defensive player towards him, and then picking up his dribble and driving into the basket, allowing him to get started at the line, shooting actually exactly 75% from the free throw stripe this season.
Robo Tekel gets his second foul. Gates makes that one. 10-point lead for the Rock as the Vulcans take it over the half-court line. Cordell Smith staying with it, flipping it over to Brown. Brown thought about a three and instead gets his pass stolen away there by Crystal Malalu. And Wooten will take it over the half-court line. Lasley inside. Malalu puts up a shot, no good, rebound by Tony Richardson. Malalu we'll see that's Tony Gates. He'll be called for the foul as Richardson was coming down with the ball.
It looks like Richardson was slapped on the wrist as the referee motions, but Tony Richardson, good defensive play underneath the hoop to get the ball back for California.
Cordell Smith for the Vulcans. Passing it to Tekel. Driving baseline. Shot is good for Tekel.
As I said, getting to the basket, getting those easy shots, and Robel Tekel answered my prayers, really. Just getting to the bucket and putting one up off against the glass.
Kyrie Wooten's pass stolen away there by Rashawn Brown. It's a one-on-none, and he gets fouled hard there by number 20. It looked like Murda Green. And Murda Green there, making sure Rashawn Brown has to work for these free throws now.
Definitely a smart foul, sending Rashawn Brown to the line this season, just about 65% from the line.
Brown has 2 shots here and makes his first. One more for Brown. As Brown bricks that one, and he is picked up by Tony Gates. Kyrie Wooten going over to Murdoch Green. Gets it back to Wooten. Inside of Gates. As Wooten sets up the offense now. California in that 2-3 zone. Wooten over to Gates. Back to Green. Now Wooten, 4-3. At the buzzer's no good. Tipped around as rebounded by Rashawn Brown. Brown to Cordell Smith. Smith inside the paint, and his pass is tipped. And it goes out of bounds off of Kyrie Wooten. Stays with California.
Good job by Smith, though, trying to find Tony Richardson. That big man right in there in the lane. Unfortunately, couldn't connect on the pass, but keeping possession is the Vulcans.
Richardson hands it off to Cordell Smith. Bounces inside to Richardson. Richardson gets fouled as he was going up, and will get 2 shots.
And the head coach for Slippery Rock not too happy about that, as he's yelling at his players out there on the floor. Can't do that in the lane.
Christian Malalu gets his second foul. A junior from Eindhoven, the Netherlands. Don't see many players in the PSAC from the Netherlands. As Richardson makes that one.
Could also say the same thing about Belgrade, Serbia. That's
you
also
see a little more from Belgrade, Serbia in terms of a basketball team there. They do want to have one of the better national teams out there in the World Championship of Basketball. They do have World Championships of basketball. Just saying. USA does very well in those contests.
Might be the FIBA, I think, Federation International Basketball Association.
Yes, FIBA. Not to be confused with FIFA.
Yeah.
Very different. Murdoch Green inside to Lasley. His shot is good, nothing but net. Cordell Smith takes it over for the Vulcans. 33-25 in favor of the Slippery Rock Rock. Brown goes inside of Richardson. Outside of Brown, 4-3. Brown, no good. Rebounded there by Cordell Smith. Helped out by Tony Richardson. Tackle to Cordell. Cordell's jumper off the front of the rim, rebounded there by Lasley.
Yeah, kind of that step back shot. Don't have all your power behind it, so you really have to put a little bit more oomph on that ball. Unfortunately, that one just bounces off the front of the rim.
Tony Gates to Wooten. Over to Murdoch Green. California sticking with that 2-3 zone. Madrid shot. No good, as looks like they're calling a violation. California will have the ball.
Something to mention as well. I mean, we're seeing basketball out here on the floor. Kind of to the left of us, we're seeing some players warm up with softball. We saw track here earlier. It's kind of an athletic environment, something different. You don't really see that much in the Convocation Center, obviously, because there's only one room. But you see behind us some of the dance team warming up and all that. But it's a lot more of an athletic feel here at Morrow Fieldhouse.
And that's something you would expect from a field house, as Andrzejczyk's shot is no good. And it's going to be out of bounds off of Daniel Sapp.
Okay, then. All right. No, it's fine. It's cool.
Hey, but there's not many field houses we go to here in the PSAC either, so it's really kind of something you don't see very, very often, especially with an open space behind the court here, because you have the court and the ends are open to the track area. As Kyrie Wooten for the Rock. Passing off to Lasley. Inside, Gates shot good.
Great way to spot up and extend Slippery Rock's lead now out to 10.
Cordell Smith. Over to Rashawn Brown. Brown driving baseline. And a foul called here. Vinny Lasley gets his foul called as we have our first media timeout here, Danny. And California trying to come back from this 10-point deficit, 35-25 with 15:32 to go. And Danny, take a look once again at the PSAC West standings.
And California only scoring 4 points since the halftime break. As you see on your screen there, Slippery Rock sitting at 4th in the PSAC West. California just a little bit behind them at 7th. And 8-13 on the season. It started out kind of rough for head coach Kent McBride. They got into a little bit of a groove here as of late, going on a 3-game win streak. And for the other side, Slippery Rock, they're on a tear as well, 11-10 on the season. And also something to mention, last week, California moved up, and if the playoffs started last week, they would have been in the PSAC playoffs. So they're just trying to, pad on some of these wins and try to get some momentum going into the PSAC playoffs if they do find themselves in that position. But for head coach Kent McBride, 8-13 for his first season thus far. He can definitely improve on this. He didn't have much time to really work with his team in the offseason as he was brought in kind of late as well. So you might see this team get better and better as the years go on, as both teams and both players start to work with each other more and more.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the offseason in terms of recruiting as well.
Yeah, definitely, because as I said, he finds a lot of out-of-the-state talent. So that's also definitely something to take note of.
Cordell Smith goes to Robel Tekel. His 3-ball is good. And it looked like he might have had a foot on the line, but they're going to say it was a 3-point shot.
Hey, they'll take it most definitely now, down by 7.
As Murdoch Green gets double teamed there and gets it out to Tony Gates. As Kyrie Wooten setting up the offense for the Rock with 10 on the shot clock. Gates back to Wooten, over to Murdoch. That shot is no good by Lasley, rebounded there by Rashawn Brown.
Great way of getting up and getting to the ball by Rashawn Brown, getting another rebound for California.
Tackle to Cordell Smith. Smith to Brown. Brown's fadeaway shot, no good, rebounded there, out of bounds on George Chase. California ball, 30 seconds on the shot clock, reset.
And right there, Murdoch Green kind of doing that backyard basketball move, falling out of bounds, throwing it off of the person who's inbounds of the opposing team. California will keep possession.
Luka Andrusic's shot is good. Gets his first 2 points.
Now California finds themselves down by 5. And on a 5-point stretch, we're going to see if they can continue this on defense.
Wooten slows it down. California staying in that 2-3 zone. Inside pass to George Chase. His shot no good off the rim. Picked up by Sapp, who goes to Cordell Smith. Brown to Andrusik, 4-3. Andrusic's shot is good.
Now California down by 2. California just turning on the heat. And a big 3 by Robel Tekel started this. And then Rashawn Brown as well as Luka Andrusik adding this on. Something great to see.
And we're going to take a quick 30-second break. 14. Actually, we're going to keep it here. I'm trying to read the lips of our director here. But Danny, this break for California, they're on an 8-0 run, and that's big. If they can continue that run here, 35-33.
Most definitely, and getting back into this contest, something I said California really needed to do, and they're doing just that. If they can continue this, we can see a very different ball game. And California, they're 3-point shooters. It seems like they're starting to find their groove out there on the court. California and Luka Andrusik was their guy that they could really lean on for threes last season. This season, he's up to par. I believe he is shooting just about 34% from the free throw line. So it's about 1 of 3. But if he can continue to keep this up, at least this game, you might be seeing a little bit different of a contest.
It'll be Slippery Rock ball coming out of the break. As Murdoch Green will inbound it. California going with the press here. See if they can get the ball back. Something Bill Brown didn't do very much is the press defense here. California trying to get this shot clock to wind down and get them a little frazzled here as they get over with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Wooten going to Murdoch Green. Back over to Wooten. As Wooten inside, Murdoch Green out to Wooten. He drives. His shot is blocked away by Robel Tekel. Bounces it up to Cordell Smith. Smith, Banjusic. Wide open Nick Miller. His shot is off the rim and is rebounded by Nyquil Jones. He's sprinting down the court. No shot here. It'll be on Cordell Smith, I believe. As Cordell Smith got out-hustled there almost by Nyquil Jones.
Yeah, it looked like Jones kind of just pushed him away. I thought they were going to call the foul on Jones. However, they're going to say it's on Cordell Smith, just trying to maybe even contend on the shot, really. And Jones just out of position on that one as the foul was called on him.
Tony Richardson checks in for Robel Tekel. Jones will inbound it from the baseline. Quick shot is no good by Murdoch Green. And out come the Vulcans. And Jusic going to Cordell Smith. Smith dumps it off and gets his pass intercepted. And now it's Jones. Another no shot foul here. This is on Daniel Sapp. Again, Jones with that quick speed, bumping and grinding with Daniel Sapp, and he's going to call for the foul.
Yeah, definitely using his body to his advantage. And he knows he can take advantage of it on the last play. On this one, he continues to do exactly that.
Jones inbounds it, as this is Kyrie Wooten. As Wooten going to Jones. Jones passing off to Murdoch Green, around the horn to Wooten. Jones now back over to Murdoch Green, inside Lasley. Another inside pass and an easy layup there for Crystal Malalu.
Most definitely getting to the basket, just trying to score some points for Slippery Rock.
37-33 with 12:25 to go in the second half. Rashawn Brown with it for the Vulcans. Getting it to Daniel Sapp. Brown to Miller. Miller to Richardson, over to Sapp. Now Brown going to Miller. And that's going to be fought for there, and it's going to be a shot clock violation for California. And weren't able to get any good shot off there. Nick Miller had a chance for a three, but elected not to take it. Now a shot clock violation.
Looks like Nick Miller is kind of hurting coming up after that one. Looked like he lost handle of the ball, though, in the corner, so it's kind of a bad situation for him, not allowing him to really get some separation from his defender.
Jones to Lasley to Wooten. As Wooten holds and goes over to Lasley, and a foul called here. It's on Crystal Malalu. And that's his third foul, team foul fifth. As we have our media timeout, California will take a break. They are down 37-33 with 11:42 to go. Stick around, you're watching Vulcans basketball here on CUTV Sports 1. And welcome back to the campus of Slippery Rock University as the California Vulcans are trailing 37-32 out of the media timeout. with 11:42 to go in the second half. Danny, break down some of the stats here at this media timeout.
And California, after being on an 8-0 run, Nick Miller attempting a three-pointer, couldn't make it, and now California is on the other side of a run as Slippery Rock is up on a 4-0 streak. So we're going to see if California can get back on it.
Tony Richardson in the paint, puts up a tough shot, and that's no good, and is rebounded by himself. Richardson puts up a tough shot and gets fouled there, and we'll go to the line to shoot two.
As you said, break down the stats, Anthony. California has 20 points here tonight in the paint, and that's really due to the play of Tony Richardson, as he has only 5 points here tonight, but also has 6 rebounds, so he's helping out his team get those extra points.
Make it 7 points for Tony Richardson as he makes that foul shot. Actually, 6 points. He can make 7 points with the second one here.
Yeah, don't count your blessings too much, Anthony. We'll see what happens here from the line with the 42% free throw shooter.
And does make it 7 points there.
Made me eat my words there.
I was hoping I didn't have to eat mine, so. Murdoch Green going to Kyrie Wooten as he gets it over the line in 5 seconds. Wooten slowing it down as he goes to Murdoch Green. Now Nyquil Jones shot way off the mark there, and it goes out of bounds off of Robel tackle. Too much on that shot there for Jones. 9 on the shot clock.
Excuse me, it looked like there was some confusion, or some fighting between Murdoch Green and Robel tackle for the ball.
Blocked away by Tony Richardson with a shot from Amir Madrid, and Rashawn Brown gets called for a travel there. He put the ball behind his back and then kept going, and you can't do that.
Well, you can, because Michael Jordan did it. He was trying to do what Michael Jordan did, and unfortunately it looks like he took a little bit too many steps.
Rashawn Brown trying to be the next Michael Jordan. As it goes inside to Jones, now Madrid. Out to Wooten. Jones with 10 on the shot clock. Wooten with it now. Throwing it over to Murdoch Green. His shot is off the rim and is rebounded by Andjusic. And out come the Vulcans, down by 2. Andjusic sets up the offense and goes to Rashawn Brown. Brown for 3. That one's off the front of the rim, but is rebounded by Tony Richardson. Andjusic for 3. That one is off the rim and is rebounded there by Nyquil Jones. Instead of electing to go for the 2-point shot, California tried twice for a 3. Didn't make them. As now Murdoch Green passes it inside. And a charging foul there and a player control foul on Amir Madrid. And a big hard foul there, Danny.
Yeah, good draw there by Tony Richardson, as well as, I believe, Cordell Smith will be checking in. So, but anyways, Tony Richardson, he's trying to work hard, get his team some opportunities, and right there, he just wants to get his team the ball back. And good draw right there on that charging foul.
Yeah, he was stationary the whole time, and guy turns around and pushes him off with his forearm there. As Tecco goes to Andjusic, now Brown. Brown driving, layup is too strong and is tipped around and is picked up by Vinny Lasley. Wooten going to Lasley, inside. And that shot is good for George Chase.
Good pass from the Slippery Rock offensive player allows George Chase to get open underneath the hoop and get those easy points.
By the way, that charge is putting California in the bonus now with 9:10 to go in the second half. And California is nowhere close to giving Slippery Rock the bonus there with only 3 fouls. That could be big later on.
Most definitely, free throws do play a huge part, and if California can take advantage of that going to the line.
Right here, Nyquil Jones gets a foul called off the ball and is going to give California a one-on-one with Robel Teckel.
And Robel tackled this season 73.3% from the line. See if he can get these 2 easy shots, uncontested shots from the free throw line.
Yeah, and if you're Slippery Rock, that's not a foul you want to take because it wasn't even on the ball as Robel Teckel makes that one count.
Most definitely, these 1-and-1s are huge. They can pay, as you said, Anthony, pay big dividends down the road. As we saw the last game for California, only decided by 6 points. Those 6 points could have easily all came from the free throw line.
Robo-Teca will get one more as Amir Madrid comes in. As Tekel trying to get his 7th point, and he does. It's a 2-point game again. California once again in the press. Murda Green passing off to Wooten. Over to Green. As he gets over the half-court line and hands it off to Wooten. 8:50 to go in the second half. Wooten over to Jones. 10 on the shot clock. Wooten shot blocked, picked up by Wooten. His shot next is still no good and is picked around and goes out of bounds off of California. Should be Slippery Rock ball. I don't think the shot clock should have reset. It never hit the rim. It hit the backboard a few times, and California never had possession of it.
Yeah, not sure what happened on that one. Maybe that's...
They're talking about it right now. I think there should be 1 second on the shot clock, but they're not. They're going to keep it at 30. It might have been a missed call there by the officials and a clock operator. And a 3-ball here is good and plenty of time to shoot that one. And that gives Vinny Lasley 10 points.
Yeah, now Slippery Rock's out to a 5-point lead. California closed it down to 2, and then just like that, they're down by a little bit more.
And Jusic for 3, off the rim and picked up by Vinny Lasley. And a foul called here on the floor. No shot. It's on Cordell Smith. His 3rd, team's 4th. So we have our media timeout. 42-37 the score here with 7:58 to go. Danny, take a look at our social media.
Yeah, most definitely. That's one of you're doing one of the things right if you're watching this game on YouTube, as you can tie that YouTube in account, CUTV Sports 1. We also have our news YouTube account, our CUTV News Center. We post all of our news-related items on there, news-related stories and all that good stuff. And then Facebook at California University Television. I know you're a big Facebook guy, and I know you're moving over to Twitter, so I'll tease the Twitter as well, CUTV_PA, and give some love over there on Twitter. And then finally give some love to sports information, calvulcans.com. We got a lot of our pregame stats on there, all the stuff, juicy information we can talk about during the game, keep everybody at home interested.
And that News Center account will have our newscast, which will include highlights from this game. So you want to watch that. You can also watch News Center live at 5 on Thursday, this coming Thursday. And this game so far, it's been pretty close, but again, a game of runs, and California has not been, making these shots so far. 42-37.
As you said, California not really on the right side of those runs. They did jump out to an 8-point run and then quickly was closed off by Slippery Rock as they answer with a 4-point run of their own. But, California really just try to execute, and now Slippery Rock 28 points in the paint.
California's last field goal, 14:02 left in the second half.
Again, they have to really score quick and against this very potent scoring Slippery Rock team.
California on around a 7-minute drought of scoring here. As Lasley for 3. That one is off the rim and is rebounded by Daniel Sapp. Cordell Smith. Dribbling with it, staying with it, top of the 3-point arc. Going inside the tackle now on the far side. Tony Richardson gets fouled as he goes up, and that's Amir Madrid's foul there, giving Richardson 2 shots.
And Tony Richardson tonight is 3 of 5 from the free throw stripe. So see if he can execute from the line, get those easy points.
Again, free throw shooting coming down and maybe being important in this game. And he makes his first. 8 points for Richardson. And misses his first off the front of the rim, and it's rebounded there. And a foul called here on Rashawn Brown, and a dumb foul there. A guy already had the ball, and he comes in from behind.
It was stuff like kind of came in behind and between his legs, kind of just tried to poke the ball out. Something you don't really want to do, give them those easy fouls. Now they total 5.
California 2 fouls away from giving them a bonus there. That ball is tipped and is picked up there by Nyquil Jones. His shot is up and no good, but a foul coming for California. It's on Robel Tekel.
Yeah, not sure where that foul came from. Unsure exactly when he was fouled. Maybe he was going up. But nonetheless, Nyquil Jones going to the line now. California has 6 fouls, too.
Basically, Slippery Rock in the bonus now, shooting 1-on-1 as he makes that first foul shot. (43-38), 7:10 to go. As Jones waits, takes his shot and makes that one as well. Checking in now is Luka Andjusic for the Vulcans for Daniel Sapp. As Cordell Smith will take it up. California down by 5. Actually down by 6 as Richardson puts up a shot and it's no good. And Tony Richardson having some struggles in the paint so far today. And Jones gets his shot up and one. Foul on Cordell Smith, gets his 4th.
And Nyquil Jones loving himself after that one, just driving through, splitting some defenders for California and getting to the basket.
Cordell Smith will check out for Daniel Sapp as Jones can try for the 3-point play, and he's got 11 points.
And he's definitely been a force on the floor tonight. Really, as I said, just splitting the defense of California and making some shot attempts for himself.
And Jones averaging 13.9 points per game, missing that foul shot. He's their leading scorer. As Rashawn Brown will take it over. Brown to Tony Richardson. Over to Brown. As Brown driving. Throws it out and he's out of bounds, and that's just bad spatial awareness, Danny.
Most definitely. You got to have some more awareness when you're on the baseline. You got to realize where you are on the floor. That time, just a lapse of a judgment there on Rashawn Brown.
And we have a timeout called by California here. 6:27 to go, 46-38 California trailing here. Danny, what does California need to do to get out of this slump?
Really just lock down on their matchups, honestly. Nyquil Jones is just really making them pay, honestly, from everywhere out there on the floor. And you really just have to lock down. Make sure that everybody that's around you have that awareness. As we said, there was a lapse of judgment there by Rashawn Brown. Rashawn Brown has been a guy that California has really leaned on tonight as well. 3 of 12, though, from the field goal. So, I mean, you have to think. You have to score, and you have to score quick just to get back into this contest. Having 7 points already here tonight and being down by 8, if everybody pulls their weight and California really locks down, you might see a win from California, honestly.
California around 8 minutes without scoring a field goal. Their last point was off a free throw. As Wooten almost lost control of the ball, but gets it over to Murdoch Green. As Wooten will slow things down with 15 on the shot clock. Wooten throwing it off to Lasley, now back to Nyquil Jones. As Lasley goes back to Jones, fakes his 3, throws it over. Shot clock goes off and it counts. Amir Madrid gets that one to count.
And just at the buzzer, not sure if that one was off. Unfortunately, we don't have any way of watching that back, but get some more points up on the board now, stretching their lead to 10.
Rashawn Brown passing inside to Tekel. Tekel shot is good. California finally get some points here.
Break their drought, and I believe there is a foul on the floor.
I'm not sure exactly what that was. No foul number was called there, so not sure what the referee said, but we're back underway here. As Jones, jumper, off the rim, rebounded by Andrusik. California down by 8 with 5:15 to go. Brown, 3 ball is no good and is rebounded by Jones. Jones with a lot of rebounds. At least it feels like it. As Kyrie Wooten with it. With 12 on the shot clock. Murda Green over to Jones. Jones driving, layup, no good, and a charging foul on Jones. That's his third. California in the double bonus now. However, they will not shoot because it's an offensive foul.
And thankfully, something goes right for California as there's a foul called on Knockwill Jones, not on a California defender. Allows California really to set up their offense, get some more points up on the board. That's what they have to do.
Down by 8, 4:40 to go. Cordell Smith with it now for the Vulcans. Over to Rashawn Brown. Brown to Richardson. Richardson inside there, and it's going to be out of bounds off of him. Andrusik got tangled up there. No foul call.
Yeah, he definitely got tangled up with Murda Green. Looked like he was kind of even hooked a little bit. You see that in more of in football when you're trying to create some space with your defender. But it looked like Luka Andrusik's arm got pulled back and not allowing that pass to be completed.
Murda Green passes it over to Nyquil Jones. Jones to Kyrie Wooten. 15 on the shot clock. Wooten, thinking he's cool, can palm the ball. Murda Green with it. Jumper is no good and is rebounded there by Lasley over the head of Tony Richardson, and the shot clock will reset with 4 minutes to go. Kyrie Wooten slowing it down. Slippery Rock with a very slow offense.
Speaking of that, Anthony, can you palm a basketball?
Probably not. That shot is no good and is tipped around, is rebounded by Cordell Smith. Headlong pass to Rashawn Brown is over his head, and it goes out of bounds. As we have our final media timeout, Danny. California down 48-40. Left in the contest, 3:35 to go. And we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more Vulcans basketball live on CUTV Sports 1.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Enough. Yeah, I'm over it.
We shouldn't need commercials to tell you we're powerful.
No thanks. Genders don't play sports. Athletes do.
And welcome back to California. Not California. It's California's down 48-40, but we're at Slippery Rock here on our first away trip this semester with the entire crew. Giving you our Wirecast setup here from Slippery Rock. Our truck should be back in use against Gannon at home on Wednesday. As it goes to Kyrie Wooten. Wooten with 15 on the shot clock. Goes to Jones, back to Wooten, now 10. Lasley to Jones, 4-3. Off the mark and is picked up by Daniel Sapp. Cordell Smith driving. Loses control of the ball and he gets fouled on the play. It's on Jones. That's his fourth foul, Danny.
Yeah, that would be very interesting with 3 minutes left. Down by 8, Cordell Smith hits both of these free throws. You might see a little bit different of a ball game as well, but it looked like Cordell Smith put a little bit of extra stuff on that, extra little spice, because of the fact that it looked like he lost handle of the ball midway up.
It did look like he lost the handle.
And kind of flung his arms and legs out. You know, as I said, part basketball, part athlete, and then also part actor.
Most sports has some acting involved in it. Basketball and soccer the most. As Kyrie Wooten goes over to Murdoch Green. And Danny, if you're California, what is this slow offense doing to you right now? It's really like they're milking the clock.
Yeah, most definitely. It has to be like nails on a chalkboard, honestly, at this point. Really want to push the pace more, get some more points up on the board quick. And
4 seconds on the shot clock. Hard shot, no good. Rebounded there by Robel Tekel. That's Cordell Smith with it now. And the Vulcans, they're going to want to push the pace here a little bit because they're down here by 4. Daniel Sapp misses that one. Is rebounded there by Murdoch Green. A bad shot there as Jones bounces it up to Lasley, and that shot is no good. A rebound by Tony Richardson. Wouldn't that have been crazy if that would have went in?
It most definitely was. There would have been almost your number one highlight of this game. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever fan you are, they did not.
And a travel there is called on Cordell Smith. 2:01 to go. California down 48-42. Both teams in the bonus. California in the double bonus. As Michael Jones passes it off to Murdoch Green. Back to Jones. Over to Green as he slows it down and goes to Wooten. If you're California, you let him keep milking his clock down. At some point, you're going to have to start fouling him. Just because of how the Slippery Rock team plays. As they're under 10 seconds already. 5 on the shot clock. That ball is tipped and tipped around again. Jones gets his shot off. At the buzzer's no good, and a shot clock violation. It did not hit the rim. 1:30 to go with 30 seconds on the shot clock as it reset for the Vulcans now. Timeout, Coach Kent McBride. And Danny, this clock is starting to become a factor for the Vulcans now. You don't want to go up and put up a quick shot and miss it, and then you got to worry about Slippery Rock milking the clock down and using all 30 seconds basically.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're head coach Kent McBride in this situation, you need to get points. You might have to risk that situation of Slippery Rock really trying to milk the clock down. You want to get your three-point threats out there on the floor, try to push the pace a little bit, but also slow it down. Take easy shots, take your time. You don't want to rush through a shot and take an ill-advised shot, and head coach Kent McBride is probably preaching that to his team right now. You might see, as I said, a little bit more three-point threats coming out there on the floor, people who prove themselves. And Luka Andrusic will not come out. Looks like they're going to stay with the same set out there on the floor.
California 3 of 15 from the three-point shot so far this game.
You got to be shaking your head in this situation. You want to get back into this contest. As I said, you were on a run for a little bit, and then you slowed back down.
48-42. Clock just starts as they rolled that ball all the way up half court. As Robel Tekel gets it off to Tony Richardson. Now Cordell Smith. Man-to-man defense for the Slippery Rock Rock. Smith handing it off to Tekel. And it's going to be out of bounds off of the Rock. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. California trying to fight off this man defense. The referee yelling telling the coach to back up as he started moving his way up the court.
That might have been what the call was earlier. He was kind of just giving him a warning.
Hey, you don't want to give a technical out this late in the game or this close. Robel Tekel shot is off the rim. Rebounded there, and it's a foul on the floor. Who will this be on? It's on number 11, Madrid. That's his third. This will send Tony Richardson to the line to shoot 2, and his is important for California.
Most definitely. He kind of just
You
wincing
hope Tony
every
Richardson
time.
doesn't feel the pressure right now either.
Yeah.
And he makes it off the rim and backboard.
What a night for him, too. Reversing his stats just a little bit, making a few more free throws than we expected.
Richardson makes the second one, nothing but net. He's got 10 points. It's now a 4-point game with 1:04 to go. California going once again with their press defense. Murda Green inbounding it to Nyquil Jones. Jones goes over to Wooten. Back to Jones. Jones to Wooten. As he goes over to Jones. Guarded by Tekel. 10 on the shot clock for Jones. Jones working on Brown. 5 on the shot clock. 3 ball is no good and is rebounded by California. Cordell Smith. 31 seconds to 30 seconds now. Daniel Sapp for 3. It is off the rim and it is rebounded there by Daniel Sapp. Sapp gets his shot. It goes out of bounds off of Slippery Rock. 23.5 seconds to go. 25 comes in. Tony Gates checks in for number 12, Nyquil Jones. And now Crystal Malalu checks in for Amir Madrid.
You got to
Shot clock is off.
In the situation, put Luka out there on the floor. Put Luka Andjusic out there. Maybe get a 3-ball up.
Brown fakes his 3, goes over to Cordell Smith. Smith, 3-ball, fade away, is off the rim and is a foul call here on California's Daniel Sapp. And this will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. This will send Lasley to the line to shoot 1 and 1. And Lasley, he's 53.3%.
Yeah, and you got to be thinking, if you're head coach Kent McBride, you really got to be just driving the fact home that in that situation, you don't take a step back 3. You don't take a shot that's completely off balance. He's proven already here tonight that Cordell Smith couldn't take that step back 3. That's the move you had to be doing. That's the move of putting Luka Andjusic back into this contest earlier on is something that you have to do. Luka can get away from his defender. He can spot up and take a 3. Cordell Smith has proven already here tonight that he could not.
Tony Gates is the one that was actually fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 1 and 1 and make it. It's now a 5-point game with 15 seconds left, and it's becoming more of a reach.
Yeah, a little bit dismal now for California. They had a good stretch.
This shot is good as well. As 15.2, 6 points is the difference. Cordell Smith. Now 10 on the clock. Going to Daniel Sapp. Man defense. Robel Tekel gets the ball tipped away and a foul called here with 4.5 seconds left. This is looking like it's going to be over.
Yeah, in that situation, no reason to foul, really. It's 6 points in 15 seconds. You got to think, if you have Tracy McGrady out there on the court, we might be thinking a little bit of a different ball game. Unfortunately, though, Tracy McGrady's out there for California.
Tony Gates to shoot 1 and 1. And makes that one. You know, those dry spells of no points for California really hurt.
Yeah, really basically the story of this game. If they didn't have any of those dry spells, we could be seeing California up 52-44, but instead it's the opposite result.
As Cordell Smith will take this one and will just hold, and that'll be it, Danny. 52-44. Slippery Rock continues their win streak. California still has not won in this building since 2010.
Yeah, and that snaps California's win streak as well of 3 games. Now back down in the losing column. You got to think, if you're head coach Kent McBride, really have to be instilling in your players what you can do a little bit differently looking into next week's contest, and really just try to take advantage of the opportunities you're given.
California gets a game off. They don't have Saturday. They come back on Wednesday at the Convocation Center against Gannon, a team they lost to in overtime. And definitely, they can come back and definitely win that game. And again, their playoffs, they're still kind of in their hands. So stick around. We'll continue to have Vulcan's men's basketball coverage for you here on CUTV Sports 1. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to our crew here of CUTV. Thanks to my color analyst, Danny Beck. And also thank you to our director, Gary Smith. I'm Anthony D'Agostino. We'll see you next week at the Convocation Center when the California Vulcans take on the Gannon Golden Knights. Have a great night, everyone.